Yo, what's good, everybody? This is Oh So Dope. I'm here for BroadwayJunction.net. Standing in front of me is one of the dopest artists that I know. I got a couple questions for him. Let's get to know who he is. Who are you, and what is it that you do?
My name is Extra Ketchup. I'm an artist based out of New York City. Graffiti artist slash designer slash illustrator slash criminal.
What inspires you to, come up with something, an ill concept?
Well, I pretty much just try to keep around. I keep a close eye on, how can I say, what nobody else is doing. I try to pretty much build a own name for myself. I feel like now that I started this whole, flipping brands and flipping, their logos, I gotta keep it consistent on that, but still keep it on a level that still represents that New York griminess.
Word.
So, to me, I feel like they just come naturally. This idea that I had in the woodworks for just like the back of my head for a while, that I guess I just found the right time to release them, but for the most part, I feel like they just come naturally.
Word. Is there a specific way that you get in the zone to create?
Yeah, I do my time where I pretty much go to stores, see what's out, see what people are wearing. 'Cause at the same time, you're trying to reach out to New York. If I'm from New York, I want to reach out to people who I want to see what they're wearing. I don't want to actually just come out and just hope that people just buy something that I like. But at the same time, I gotta stay consistent and I have to be on point with what's out there. So I feel like keeping yourself up to date with, of course, weather and everything like that, and understanding seasons change, and of course just supply and demand. Since I do everything off of Instagram, and I usually go off what people ask me the most. The DMs is just
Word.
people ask me, yo, when you gonna release hoodies, when you gonna release beanies. So I kind of just start finding out a way to give them what they want, especially since they follow me and they want to keep seeing new stuff.
Word. I think that's dope because since you're from New York, you know what it's like
Yeah.
to wear two sweaters one day of the week and then wear a t-shirt the same day of the week.
Yeah.
So it's I think that's important. Word up. Making gear for people just like us,
Plus, it's also going by what I wear too. So it's how would I dress?
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that to me is just I've been influenced, of course, by where I grew up at, where I was raised at. So it's something that I still been dressed the same way.
Word.
As soon as I get older, I feel like people tend to say oh no, I'm not gonna wear this no more. I still wear hats at the age that I am now. So it's how can I pretty much develop a style that still represents me, but allow everybody else to pretty much have a piece of me? If that makes any sense.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking about your childhood, tell me a little bit about it.
Well, I grew up pretty much. I was born in Harlem, and I grew up in the Bronx. And I moved to Queens, I would say 2005, 2006. I would say 2005 because my memory is messed up right now. But for the most part, I lived in the Bronx. Grew up, listening to hip hop through my older brother, who was a big, root fan, of course. Who always just put me onto, all different types without him even putting me on. It was just genuinely everybody wants to be like their big brother. So just watching that and seeing that, and just the way he'll dress influenced the way I dress, how his friends would dress, and the graffiti started also in the Bronx. I got put on to graffiti mainly through one of my homies who was a DJ. So watching him as a DJ and a break artist, like a break dancer, and still be nice in the streets and still bomb was just he just had so many elements, and it was just yo, once you discover hip hop at an early age, that shit just has a chokehold, and it's just within your blood, the way I walk, the way I talk. I talk like this in jobs that I used to have, and it's just I'm not gonna change who I am. And I just feel like you want to keep it forever, the pureness, the pure essence, because that's who you are, and I feel like that's what everybody wants is originality. So it's just best to stay true to your roots. Where you come from, never try to jock, or you can pay homage to things that, influence, of course, other places, but just being true to yours.
Word
And
up.
I feel like I grew up in the 90s seeing people flip logos, it's all propaganda, so I gotta keep it back to us. So,
It's like taking what the streets taught you and using it.
pretty much just like building and having fun with your terrain, because this is like your backyard, you know what I'm saying? So when you pretty much feel comfortable, when you have the love from everybody, where you're from, and of course you can always go back, everywhere I go, like I get happy when I see people wearing Saint Amman, and I can feel good that I go to Harlem, that I go to the Bronx, back to where I grew up, that people, wear my stuff and support me, even if they didn't buy it, even if I gave it to them, they still wearing it. So it's just good enough to see that, it's genuine still, especially where you're from.
Word up.
Yeah,
Yeah, you gotta represent where you're from. I agree with that, 100%. What are things that you must have for your art?
I feel like for my art, must have the number one tool I feel is just music. I think music really is what separates me, even though I don't create music myself yet. I feel like one day I will jump into that field. But as of right now, I feel like the number one thing is music. Like, yeah, I smoke weed, but if I don't have weed, a nice, good instrumental is just what puts me, like, what separates me from, like, all these strings that, attached to you without you, actually wanting it to be attached to you. And it's just, like, something that always, like, you always have to find this piece of, like, clarity where you know that, all right, this is where I could build, and it's just go back to being an innocent. It's always being back to, like, your purest form of you, which is a kid, a baby. So it's like, how can I be playful with this and have fun with this and be so, even though I'm old enough now to, like, know right from wrong, like, I can still be a baby within my art. And I feel like what I put out and what I have fun with, it just goes back down to pure innocence. And I feel like what is the main tool is just, I feel like hip-hop music, I feel like just instrumentals, Madlib instrumentals, J. Dilla instrumentals, like, they put me in that. I feel like they bring me back into, like, a time where, I feel like I had no responsibilities, and that's when you feel free. So that's when you're able to, come up with your best shit.
Word. So you would say that another art that you would identify with is music.
Yeah, I feel like music really speaks to me. I feel like I do, like I said, I do graffiti, and I do, I'm a mixed media artist. Like, I like to just touch anything, I like photography. I don't like to limit myself to one thing. I feel like art is just art, it's own expression. It's just different levels of expression. So I feel like what reflects to me the most outside of just, like, the actual arts and crafts and, like, painting would just be exactly music.
Word.
The only thing I feel like, to me, feels pure, that feels real, that feels like you feel it. It's a sound that when you put it, especially if it's really loud, like, sometimes I'll be in my crib and I don't even have a studio, you get what I'm saying? I put it in my room, so when my TV is loud and I feel like I can still feel that, it's just like, you can't put that next to anything, you know what I'm saying? And then, like, that same feeling that you receive from that, and you put into the art is what people feel when they see it. So it's like, it all goes back to us being connected somehow.
What role do you think artists have in society?
I feel like artists play a big role in society. I feel like art speaks loud. I feel art speaks loud, of course, more than words. I feel like music, for example, even not to get off topic from what I do, I feel like, hip-hop music is like a new religion. So everybody's going off what they're influenced by now. And I feel like art now is, for the artist, is more of like, since we're evolving now with, the digital era, like the analog era is now ceased, and now we're moving on to this digital stage where everybody's using all this, Illustrator and everything. It kind of like, I feel like it's stripped away from the actual essence of, like, putting your all into, like, mixing paints and feeling it, and actually being one with what you're doing on a canvas. But I feel like now, like, now that artists actually could be out there, they have the internet as a source to pretty much expand, like, why not milk it? That's why I feel like I'm the type of person who now, I spend a lot of time on social media, so why not use this time? Time is money, so if you're spending this much time, something got to come back from that. I feel like right now the artists is speaking the most, because now you have, you know, political art still. It's the same thing like back in the day. It's just repeating yourself, you know, with, even if it's a graffiti mural with somebody expressing how they feel about Trump or Hillary, it's all, you know, expression that's going to live. The kid is going to see that. You get what I'm saying? If an artist, a rapper says, you know, fuck Trump in his rhyme, whoever's listening to that is going to say, yo, why he saying that? You get what I'm saying? So that speaks louder, and that's art. So that's how the artist, you know, I feel like is the most, it's who you should really be listening to, whether it's a musician, you know, a painter, whatever, how they dress, you know what I'm saying? Like, everything has a message.
I think that's a good point. Instead of like seeing all these like new technologies and like these social medias as a way of them trying to keep us in control or keep like the all-seeing eye, it's like, yo, two could play at that game. It's like, yo,
Yeah.
all right, so this is what they're giving us. This is what we gonna do with it, you know, flipping merch.
And that's the criminal mind state, and that's why I feel like it's still, that's why I feel like my brand represents that, you know, criminals only at that level, where I feel like it's something that, to me, still represents something that I am, you know what I'm saying? Like, what I do, yeah, it's an adrenaline rush when I grew up, you know, rather than racking, rather it's been painting, you know what I'm saying? It's still, you're still certified, you're still pretty much classified to them who look at us as peasants, as, you know, criminals. We could be, you know, very humble people, very creative people, but we still criminals, you get what I'm saying, in their ride. So it's just like, yo, we can still make it, you get what I'm saying? So if they continue to feed us all these things, or like all these brands that I pretty much come at, it's not on the sense of like that I don't like them. It's pretty much what I want. So it's just like, all right, I'm growing up on a level where like I'm evolving. I want to win my own, but I'm still pretty much now remixing what I want. So if I want on the way where, yeah, it's a corporate brand and pretty much it's been feeding our people the same logo as they're putting it in our faces all the time. It's the same thing like graffiti. If your tag is everywhere, it's everywhere, you get what I'm saying? You see Gap bags everywhere, or you can see, you know, whatever company it is, everywhere, and it's just like we've been conditioned to accept that without knowing what that even represented. Like, nobody knows what those brand meanings are. Like, half the people don't even know who created that, who's the artist who even, you know, did that. It's just in our face.
They just put it in our
In
head.
our face, and people, you know, spending money on this, and it's just like, yo, it's crazy. Like, we pretty much milking this engine. So it's like, yo,
What is your goal?
my goal was to pretty much just keep a foundation of, you know, people who vibrate on the same frequency as me, that want to do something with their creativity. And I feel like we come up with ideas. I feel like together, when we form a team, it's just, you have people that no longer feel attached to, you know, feeling hopeless, because you know you have a team. So I feel like my main goal right now, like, I don't care about money. I don't care about, you know, seeing my shit on a billboard. Like, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I want to build, you know, I feel like I just want to build a brand, not even a brand, just like a collective, where we could all at the same time feed into this, you know, engine, where we all are growing together as you know, one big foundation, instead of, you know, having that selfishness where, you know, you feel like, nah, I can't share this, or I can't share that with that man. It's just, it builds a wall, you know. It builds limitations, especially when, you know, some people, they have great ideas, but they just limit themselves through the money. So it's just like, you know, you want to be there for people, you know, with ideas that you know are great. So it's just like, if you have the right team and you have the right people, and then you have a storefront, you know what I'm saying, where, you know, you can come and you can sell your stuff, you know, you can promote other people's stuff. And I feel like it's
Building.
it's just building nonstop. I don't know where this might take us one day. Like, I could one day, you know, be flying a jet with an extra ketchup on it, going, you know, to a fashion show that I'm, you know, pouring out, pretty much styling in Japan or something. Who knows? It's just, I'm just having fun. Like I said, I'm going back to the pure innocence of me being a kid and feeling like I don't have no ties. I feel like you can't tell me shit. You can't tell me shit. Like, I've just been having fun with this shit. If I feel like I don't want to produce anymore for a while in school, I can go jump back on my art. Like, this is not I'm not attached to this because attachment is pretty much the root of suffering. Like, I'm just doing this to be free. This brand pretty much started with just me being an artist and just having such an attachment to my pieces that I don't want to have that one person have that. Like, I want everybody to have that. That's just the type of person I am. So that when I did, I wanted to be a canvas is now a crew neck. You get what I'm saying? For everybody to have. Just that's because I want to see everybody with it. And I sell my shit at the most lowest price. I'm not in it for no money. I'm in this shit for having fun.
Word
and
up.
seeing that maybe 10 years from now I'll see somebody wearing or somebody's kid wearing a sort of that once belonged to their pops. That shit would be fire. And that's all. And it's all just, longevity at the end of the day, staying humble. Meeting the people that I meet, you get what I'm saying? It's
Word
crazy.
up. Word up. Word up. Yo, what sort of superpower would you have and why?
I think I'll be like some nightcrawler nigga. Just
Nightcrawler?
sometimes you find myself in situations where you just feel like vibe coming, you just like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. This room is mad red. This shit is not for me. You just wish you could just like turn a corner and just poof. I could be like that jumper nigga. Fuck that.
Yo,
I mean, we all have telekinesis. We all can heal each other. We all fucking Wolverines. If you get cut in a month, that scar gonna be healed. So fuck all that shit. Like, I don't want to read nobody's mind. Like, that's mad. That's mad
it's
selfish.
weird. Yeah, that is.
Like, I don't
mad
care
selfish.
what you're thinking about. Like,
Yo, I always said.
I'd rather have that like nightcrawler. I feel like that shit is fire. Like, for me to come into a spot, like, imagine I just got out the shower, get dressed, and poof, show up.
Mad quick. Yeah, that's teleportation.
Hell yeah.
That's I always say if I had a superpower, if I could choose a superpower to have, it would be teleportation. So, how can people cop some of the merch? How can they stay connected with the brand?
Well, right now, it's not that I don't want to build a website. I'm very picky and I'm very tedious and I'm very organized, and I feel like since I'm running this by myself, I don't want to say that I have too much on my plate, but I want to do some real serious thinking before I release the website. So right now I'm just doing personal relations where I do straight direct message on the Instagram. So if you follow the Instagram, you can always DM me. I check my DMs every night. I have somebody who does meetups in all over the 5 boroughs. And not really Staten Island too much, but I have somebody who does meetups. I do shipping, so I do PayPal. Just hit me up on DM. Everything that I do is a limit of 23, so only 23 people have any PCO of mine. So if you like it, better hop on it fast because you might not get it. This is Extra Ketchup. Follow me online at Extra Ketchup. Yo, shout out to BroadwayJunction.net for the interview. Much love to Live Gas Show. Shout out Love Music. Peace.